Representative Mike Johnson may not be a household name yet, but after today, that is bound to change. So who is Mike Johnson, the man now second in line to succeed the president? To tell us more, we go now to Dr. Matthew Green, professor of politics at the Catholic University of America. Dr. Green, great to have you back. We appreciate it. Before we get into Speaker Johnson and his background, I want to get your thoughts now that we finally have a speaker after 3 weeks. And did you think that Johnson would be the person?
Well, you know, he was up there on my list, but he is in many ways an unconventional choice. He has not been in Congress that long. He has not been in leadership in a while. He is more conservative than your typical speaker, and so in some ways, he was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, you know, talk to us about what it means now that we do have a speaker in place, how we can move forward, and do you think that he can bring unity?
Well, there's unity between the parties and there's unity within the parties. All speakers in the last 20, 30 years have struggled to have the two parties work together on big issues just because we're a polarized country. I think the big challenge he actually has that's even more important is unity within his party. As we've seen with his predecessor, Kevin McCarthy, when you've got a divided party, it's very, very hard to govern as speaker. And of course, the procedures of the House allow any one member to try to remove you. So I think that's going to be his number one goal, is to try to keep the Republican Party unified.
Yeah, let's talk about him specifically. I mean, what more do we know about the new speaker? And as we just heard, you know, he did receive a very high rating from the pro-life Susan B. Anthony list.
That's right. So he's a constitutional lawyer, and he served in the state legislature from 2015 to 2017 before he was elected to Congress. He's also done conservative talk radio, which, if you listen to his voice, it's not too surprising. He's got a voice for radio. He has been in leadership in the House of Representatives. He served on the Republican Conference as vice chair. He was also head of the Republican Study Committee, which is a group of which is a part of the party, conservative members of the party, and served on Judiciary and Armed Services. And I think so members see him as legally well-versed in constitutional principles, very familiar with judicial and military issues. But again, this is only his 6th year in Congress. And so there's a lot that people don't know about him that we're going to be finding out pretty soon.
Yeah, absolutely. What else do you think we need to know about him? And what do you see as maybe his biggest challenges?
Well, I think one thing that hasn't gotten enough attention is the fact that he is a social conservative. Now, we've had Republican speakers who are socially conservative, but they often are seen as more fiscal conservatives, or they put other things sort of higher on their priority. From what we can tell, the new speaker is very much a social conservative, and he prioritizes things like abortion, gay marriage, family issues. And that might mean that once he gets through all this these budget battles, we might see some of those kinds of bills coming to the floor if they matter to him personally. But his big struggle right now is going to be trying to get appropriations through the House and keep the government open, and it will be a challenge.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think everyone's breathing a sigh of relief now that we finally do have a speaker. Dr. Green, great to have you on, as we said before, and we appreciate your analysis.
My pleasure.